There's been a contract extension with the Cincinnati Bengals, a player who I think could be a key piece to the 2026 defense. We're going to talk about him next here on No Buts About It. What's up, everyone? My name is Josh Butts, and you are watching No Buts About It. The Bengals have extended two players so far that we know of this week, and one of them is wide receiver Kendrick Pryor. However, that's not who this video is about. While I do think Kendrick Pryor offers some good depth for the team at wide receiver, someone who was underrated last season and who I think could make a much bigger impact in 2026 is cornerback Jalen Davis. Now, Jalen Davis has been in the league for a while. He was a 2018 undrafted free agent, signed with Miami. Then he went on to play with the Cardinals in 2019 and half of 2020. And then he signed with the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad in October of 2020. So he played the other half of 2020 with the Bengals. He's been with the team since then, various call-ups due to injury, but he got his first real chance in 2025. Really a story of just patience and opportunity. He's an older player. He's a veteran. He is, I believe, the only defensive player currently expected to be on the roster next year when the Bengals start playing again, who was on that Super Bowl team. Obviously, Trey Hendrickson was on that team, but he is likely not returning. But Jalen Davis has been around. He's been kind of a coach. Defensive coordinators have loved them. All sorts of position coaches have talked great about him. But he never really got a chance until Cam Taylor-Britt went down with an injury. And then Josh Newton, who was really thought to be, this kind of gem. Coaches seem to love him. He just didn't really live up to expectations, and he kind of disappointed. So he didn't end up getting the playing time that a lot of people expected him to in his sophomore season. And Jalen Davis got that time instead. And now the stats are not, the whole story here. Like I said, he's really a coach, and you've got to remember he did not play a ton on in the 2025 season. He played mostly just the back half of the season. He had 270 defensive snaps. He had 120 of those in coverage out of the slot, and he had a 55.6 passer rating allowed, which was the lowest in the NFL. So that means when quarterbacks were targeting him, that was the passer rating they had. And that's the lowest in the NFL at that metric. He had one sack, he had one interception, he had 13 combined tackles. Now, again, we don't know how much money the Bengals threw at Jalen Davis. I think it's probably going to be a smaller number just because these stats are still low. It wouldn't shock me if it's a one-year contract. But Jalen Davis is truly someone who has stepped up and has been a leader for this team. And filled in that veteran slot corner role, kind of something that we have needed ever since Mike Hilton left. They've tried to put Dax Hill there, but he didn't really do it, and he was better as an outside corner. DJ Turner has been better as an outside corner. And DJ Turner, you're not moving DJ Turner. He was one of the few things that worked with the Bengals defense last year. So Jalen Davis has really kind of solidified his spot as a starter already, barring the draft or any major free agency signings. But I think that the Bengals feel really good about where they are with their cornerback room. If you had to take a room on the defensive side of the ball that you felt really good about in the 2025 season, I think corner is probably it. You've got DJ Turner. You've got Jalen Davis again now. You have Dax Hill, who has shown that he can be a solid outside corner now that he's actually playing in his correct position. You also have Josh Newton, who is a good backup. Maybe he'll end up being a starter eventually, but we don't know that right now. There's some depth there. Marco Wilson, who couldn't stay healthy last year, but can be another solid depth piece. I think the Bengals have a lot of options there, at least more than they have at linebacker, safety, or on the defensive line. And the coaches just absolutely adore him, like I mentioned earlier. Excuse me, that's the wrong graphic. This is the graphic I want. his impact goes far beyond stats. Like I said before, you can't quantify it, but you can feel it when he is out there with our defense. And that was Charles Burks, who's the Bengals cornerback coach. He was also with Jalen Davis in Miami. So they've been together for a while. He knows what type of player Jalen Davis is, and he is excited to have him back. And, I'm good with it. I like this signing. I think Jalen Davis does elevate the defense. Is he going to be a top corner in the NFL? Probably not. At his age, that's just probably not going to happen. But I do think that he is a leader that this team needs to have out on the field, especially with Trey Hendrickson going. That was kind of the thing that they didn't have for the front half of the season on the Cincinnati Bengals defense. They didn't have an identity because they didn't have any leaders. And with Jalen Davis out there, I believe he provides that. And I believe that is part of the reason that the Bengals accelerated in defense. They weren't great still. There's still improvements that need to be made, but there are a few corner pieces that we have. And I think Jalen Davis is one of them that you can get on the cheap. We'll see what his contract ends up being. But, the Bengals are signing those free agents. So hopefully we'll see a Dalton Risner free agency signing here. Apparently they're in talks. Hopefully I get to make that video soon. But thank you, everyone, for stopping by. This was just a quick little video that I was able to make when I had time. I appreciate y'all for supporting us as always. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Bengals fans, let me know who you want the Bengals to sign in free agency. And make sure to leave a comment below. Until next time, go do something nice for someone.